From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your Evening Update. Your weekend weather update is made possible by Caltrans District 2.
Dennis's Heating and Air Conditioning is Northern California's premier heating and air conditioning contractor. From residential housing, large commercial projects, installation to repair, sheet metal fabrication, and everything in between, we are your go-to heating and air conditioning specialist.
Happy Saturday evening to you. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger in for Chase Wilson this evening. There is a Reading Rodeo ticket giveaway. I've been talking about it all last week. I'm going to talk about this weekend too because the tickets will be given away this Monday. Next Monday at 6:30 in the morning on Coffee with Krueger. All you got to do to enter is mkrueger@weathernorcal.com. That's an email. Just let me know your name and you are as good as entered. You can also go to weathernorcal.com, click on Contact, and then fill out the form. Give me your name, and you are as good as entered as well. So again, that's Monday at 6:30 in the morning. Watch Coffee with Krueger on all of those available platforms on Weather NorCal. Cooling trend starts tomorrow. It was another warm day out there today, but temperatures are going to be dropping as much as 10 degrees, low 80s for many of us in the valley, dropping even more by your Monday. Well, now the winds will be picking up this weekend. We're already noticing that here this afternoon. They'll be even stronger for tomorrow. In fact, there's a wind advisory I'll be telling you about here in a second here, but yeah, those winds are really starting to pick up. Much cooler and a chance for some rain by Monday. Even some thunderstorms are in the forecast, and then a gradual warming trend after that. All right, so a little bit to talk about here in the longer range forecast, but let's get you through Krueger's Quickcast here for your Saturday night. Taking a look at temperatures in the mid to upper 50s for the valley, mid to upper 40s for the higher elevations, and that's really going to be the case here for the coast as well. So heading out the door tomorrow morning at about 8 a.m., you can see, looking at some clouds out there, but mainly dry. Temperatures are going to be in the 50s for places like Modoc County, Eastern Mountains, more like the upper 40s though for Trinity County and the North Coast. Now the coast may see some drizzle in the morning hours tomorrow, but overall it's going to be a dry day through most of the day for almost everyone. We'll get into that here in a second, but there is that wind advisory for the valley. Basically for tomorrow afternoon through tomorrow night, those south gusts are about 40 to 50 miles per hour. And for the eastern mountains, in particular, Lassen, Modoc County, and even into, Plumas County, eastern Modoc County, it's basically through the day on Sunday until 11 p.m. on Sunday, southwest gusts at about 40 to 50 miles per hour. So let's take a look at those winds. And you can see as we go into tomorrow morning, the winds are starting to ramp up southern parts of the valley and eastern mountains. But elsewhere, not that bad, but they're really starting to pick up by the afternoon. Strongest winds look to be in the valley, in the eastern mountains. A little bit stronger winds out towards central Siskiyou County, 20 mile an hour to 30 mile an hour gusts as we head along the coast as well. So some pretty strong winds there. So you can see this line of clouds right here. It looked pretty ominous. It looked like this morning. You're like, those are going to be coming through. But really, high pressure was the dominant feature, and it just kind of stalled this out, and the energy just moved up to the north. This will eventually move through tonight into tomorrow morning, mainly dry. As I mentioned, maybe some drizzle for the coast. But behind that, that's what's going to be moving in here sometime late in the day Sunday, and especially Sunday night into Monday. So let's take a look at that here, at least through tomorrow night. And you can see here some of the clouds that are going to be passing through tonight. Those clouds coming in tomorrow morning, maybe a little drizzle along the coast here for your Mother's Day morning. Now I do expect for everyone to be mainly dry through the first half of the day on Mother's Day. So if you got a Mother's Day brunch, maybe you're hanging out outside, you should be in pretty good shape, even for the coast. But again, maybe a little bit of drizzle for the coast. By mid-afternoon, Del Norte County seeing some showers. By the late afternoon, that does work its way southward into Humboldt County, barely touching western Siskiyou County. Everyone else still dry, even Sunday evening, before we do start to see those showers push eastward as we go into Sunday night. And even, of course, through the day on Monday, everyone getting in on that, and even some thunderstorms, which we'll get into that a little bit later. So here's your Sunday forecast. Yes, it's dry. Low 80s, though. Yeah, very nice for the valley. 70s, 60s for the higher elevations, and for the coast, you're looking at temperatures somewhere in the mid-50s with mostly cloudy skies, showers developing by the afternoon. So there's your 7-day forecast for the valley. Dry tomorrow, isolated showers and thunderstorms here. Some of those thunderstorms could be bring some heavy rainfall too, by the way. And then we're dry on Tuesday, gradual increase in those temperatures through next week, but staying clear of the 90s. The coast, inland, and Trinity County, some PM showers coming in, especially Del Norte County in particular, and eventually even some of the inlet areas seeing it late in the afternoon, early evening. But Trinity County is probably dry even into the late afternoon tomorrow. It's Monday that I think everyone's got that chance for showers, even some thunderstorms. And overall, there may be a chance for an afternoon shower for places around Trinity County late in the day, or excuse me, early in the day on Tuesday, but overall drying out for next week. There's a look at Mount Shasta, Siskiyou County, Modoc County, the Eastern Mountains. There you got that chance for thunderstorms here for your Monday, but should be dry on Sunday. Maybe a chance in the early morning hours, in particular on Tuesday. And look at this. By next Saturday, maybe, just maybe, a chance for showers. Starting to see a little bit more consistency in some of the long-range forecast models, bringing us some slightly cooler weather and maybe even some showers by next weekend. All right, let's take a look at the overall, looking at the app here. All right, so that was Krueger's Quickcast. If that's all you needed, you're good to go. But if you want to go and do a deeper dive here, stick around. We're going to talk about this Weather NorCal app, though, first. You can just search for Weather NorCal in your app store, download the app for free. It's a hyper-local app, so it's everything you need there for if you live in the Northern California region. You're good to go with this. I think you're really going to enjoy the overall accuracy and just the dependability you can get from the app. So there you can see, this is the cloud cover that's trying to move in. That'll be moving through tonight and into tomorrow. Behind it, this is what's going to be moving in as we go into Sunday night, into Monday, and that's going to give us the chance for showers and thunderstorms. So we look at the severe outlook. When you start seeing this, these are the different categories here. This is the lowest end. The lighter shade of green is essentially saying, hey, listen, there's a chance. We've got the ingredients out there. You can see some thunderstorms. So really, most of Northern California has the chance of seeing some isolated showers, maybe some thunderstorms here. Some of those thunderstorms could produce heavy rainfall, gusty winds, maybe some hail as well. So let's take a look at Futurecast, take you through the next few days. All right, so here you can see, as we go into tonight, tomorrow morning, there are the clouds developing right here. Now you can see a little bit of drizzle trying to develop, especially along the coast here tomorrow morning. So if you're having Sunday breakfast outside, it might be a little chilly first and foremost because of the overcast skies, and maybe a little bit of drizzle out there. And then through the morning hours, probably still that potential for drizzle, but maybe that Mother's Day brunch, you should be okay. It should stay mainly dry. But this is the batch of rain that comes in late in the day Sunday, really mid-afternoon for Del Norte County, and then working its way down into Humboldt County as we go into Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. By Sunday night, it progresses eastward, now Trinity County, central and western Siskiyou County getting in on some of the action, but still fairly dry for the valley and still fairly dry east of that as well. Then you can see the spin of low pressure. So that's all just kind of feeding in from the south and west. So everyone at this point by 8 a.m. is seeing showers, possible thunderstorms, including parts of the valley as well. Snow levels, by the way, are mainly above 6,000 feet. Road temperatures are probably too warm for that snow accumulation. That being said, if you are traveling anywhere in the Eastern Mountains, just might not be a bad idea to check the road conditions, but most likely you should be okay. Now, you can see as we go into midday on Monday, you see the thunderstorms beginning to pop up here, and it's really just all of Northern California seeing the chance for showers, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Some will see a lot more rain than others. Some of you not seeing much rain at all. It just depends on who sees those thunderstorms in the afternoon. 3 p.m. Monday, still the widespread, isolated, scattered showers and thunderstorms here. Some of these producing heavy rainfall, gusty winds, hail, frequent lightning. By 6 p.m. Monday, you can see most of the rain is now off to the east here. We're beginning to see things quiet down to the west of that. And by Monday night, mainly in the Eastern Mountains, drying out for the valley. And this is going to be the trend really as we go into Tuesday. Not a lot of rain coming into Tuesday, which we'll take a look at here in a second. Rainfall totals through Monday night. Looks like that's when we're going to see most of the rain, right? But as we go into Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, you can see some of the minor accumulations. Most of this, what you see here, will be in the afternoon on Mother's Day. But then by really as we go into Sunday night into Monday, everyone's seen that chance for rain. Now, I like what I'm seeing here overall. This does not mean that these are the exact numbers you're going to see, but I think the bulk of the rain will be on the coast, and we'll see another pocket of heavier rainfall east and northeast of the valley as well. Now, speaking of the valley, Here you can see anywhere from 1/100th to upwards of 1/4 of an inch of rainfall. And I think that's a fairly good, accurate representation of what I expect to see. I'd say the north end of the valley, say around Chico, maybe even Red Bluff, could get caught up in some of these thunderstorms, which would indicate that you're going to see a heavier amount of rainfall, upwards of 1/4 of an inch of rain, maybe even more, depending on how many of these thunderstorms you end up seeing on Monday. But you'll notice to the south, we're getting a little bit shadowed. We're not seeing as much development, so you'll probably see a little bit less rainfall. And looks like even not very impressive amounts. But I'd say you're probably going to see that potential for some heavy downpours at times, even for parts of Lassen and Plumas counties. Now, as I mentioned, as we go into Tuesday, I don't expect a lot of activity here. Here's Tuesday morning at 8 a.m., maybe a few snow flurries above 6,000 feet. Maybe a few scattered showers for some of the higher elevations through the day on Tuesday, but nothing significant. It will be dry Tuesday for the valley, and it should be dry also for places like Trinity County and even Del Norte and Humboldt counties as well. And then by Wednesday, I think it should be dry across the board. So looking at another forecast model, really a good representation of a lot of what we just saw, where most of the rain's off to the west, north and east of the valley, and then you can see anywhere from a few hundredths to upwards of 1/4 of an inch of rainfall for parts of the valley. So as I mentioned, it dries out for Wednesday, Thursday, even Friday. Some of the longer range forecast models are taking this and possibly riding it just to our north. So places to the north of the valley, say around Siskiyou County, Modoc County, Lassen, Plumas counties, but even around, say, Trinity County, parts of Del Norte and Humboldt counties, seeing the potential for some showers on Saturday. Now, this is a week out. So the timing, the intensity of this, the placement of it, this is most likely going to change, but we are seeing that potential that sometime around Friday, Saturday of next week, we may see the potential for some wet weather, but at this point, I'm not concerned about it reaching the valley just yet. Because as you know, we've got the Reading Rodeo Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And it's the Friday, Saturday where some of the mountains could see some of those showers. So we'll have to watch for that. But with the positioning of this low pressure system, we could be looking at those winds possibly picking up here for Saturday, even into Sunday. Speaking of the winds, we mentioned that wind advisory for the valley and in the eastern mountains here, basically through the day tomorrow and into tomorrow night. So tomorrow morning, winds are starting to pick up in some areas, but really ramping up by the second half of the day for the valley, eastern mountains, even the coast, seeing some pretty gusty winds as well. But by the time we get into Monday, still a bit breezy in spots, but the wind should start to die down a little bit here, especially as we go into Monday night and into your Tuesday as well. But I think the strongest winds over the next several days will be Sunday, strong on Monday, just not as strong, and then much weaker by the time we get to Tuesday. All right, let's switch gears and talk about temperatures. They were warm yesterday. They're warm again today. That warmer air is shifting to the east. That's going to allow this cooler air to move in. So we're seeing temperatures drop down to the low 80s for the valley by your Mother's Day. By Monday, you're going to be looking at temperatures probably in the mid-60s for the valley. By the time you get into Tuesday, that cooler air is beginning to shift to the south and east and moderate a bit. We're back in the 70s for the valley, and then slowly increasing as we go through next week. Now, this ridge of high pressure is trying to build in and gain strength, but it can't because we're seeing storm systems ride over it and on the eastern side of it. So this right here is going to bring in some cooler air. It's going to keep those temperatures at bay, so I would expect that once we get into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're talking mid, maybe some upper 80s, but that might be pushing it. And that could continue into Saturday. Now again, this is the system that I was talking about that could also potentially bring a little bit of shower activity, especially for the higher elevations. So once again, you can see here, temperatures dropping for your Mother's Day, even more for Monday with that rain and thunderstorms in the forecast. We're dry but warmer on Tuesday, it's still below normal, starting to creep back up, and could quite possibly eventually reach the upper 80s to low 90s by the end of next weekend into that next week. There you can see the Reading Rodeo Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Again, not getting much warmer than the mid to possibly upper 80s here for your daytime highs. And then, of course, it gets much cooler once the sun does set as we go into the evening hours for the Reading Rodeo events. All right, so here's the wave heights. They are actually starting to increase as we go into tomorrow afternoon, and it looks like even into your Monday. they're getting fairly strong. So we may eventually start to see some small craft advisories, the works, right? Something to think about if you do need to be on a small boat on Monday. That might be something you may have to put off. Temperatures in the mid to upper 50s for the valley tonight. We're in the 40s for the higher elevations, probably mid to upper 40s for the coast. Temperatures for Trinity County, 60s to around 70, much cooler to the south, with 59 for Ruth and 54 degrees for Mad River. We're dry on Sunday, but we do have showers and thunderstorms on Monday. Tuesday, maybe a lingering shower, but we should be looking at dry conditions as we go through next week. And the chances for Trinity County on Saturday are a bit slimmer. But you can see here for parts of the coast, a chance for some showers here. That's also the case on Monday with a maybe even isolated thunderstorm as well. We take you into your Sunday. Now, Sunday morning it's dry, but by Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, especially Del Norte, northern Humboldt County, seeing the chance for showers by around mid-afternoon, continuing through the afternoon into the evening. Showers, possible thunderstorms on Monday, dry for Tuesday through Friday, and maybe that chance for showers on Saturday of next week. For Siskiyou County, temperatures in the mid-60s on average. We're mainly dry. Now, there may be a chance in western Siskiyou County, but everyone else should be dry tomorrow. It's not until Monday, really, that we'll see that better chance for showers and thunderstorms pushing in. There's a look at your Modoc County neighborhood forecast. You're dry for your Sunday. Showers, thunderstorms on Monday, maybe lingering some activity on Tuesday, and then another chance a week from today. Eastern Mountains, temperatures mid to upper 60s, 70 in Susanville, 61 degrees for Mineral, 72 degrees in Paradise. Your Valley neighborhood forecast to the south, 82 for Orland, 78 degrees for Elk Creek, and 80 in Oroville. There's your 7-day forecast for Chico. Isolated showers and thunderstorms for your Monday. Some of those could be heavy at times, and gusty winds, lightning, and hail. Otherwise, you're looking at drier and gradual warming trend. Should be somewhere in the mid-80s on average for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We take you up to the north, 80 for Redding, 81 for Anderson, 80 degrees in Palo Cedro, and Whiskeytown, a high of about 72 degrees. And there's your 7-day forecast for Redding. Isolated showers and thunderstorms for your Monday, drying out and beginning to warm up by Tuesday through the end of next week. That's your evening update. I'll be back again tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Have a great night.
At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too. Because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.